okay.
Okay, my name is Mark Harman, and I'm here to introduce the course I'm teaching next semester called Irony, Humour and Despair. Students actually call it Humour, Irony and Despair. I think I'll change the name. It captures a lot of what we do in the class, which is, we do quite a bit of laughter, although there are some dark moments, as is suggested by the word despair. These are three great modern authors that we're reading about, Kafka, Joyce and Beckett. And I have here with me Becky Olson, who took the course, how many years ago was it, Becky?
3?
3 years ago. And I think one of the things that is different this time, that we're going to read a great story by Franz Kafka called Metamorphosis, about a man who wakes up and he has an unpleasant surprise. No spoilers here. But this time I'm going to use my own translation, and Becky happens to be taking a course with me this semester, and she's already read my new translation. And do you think this will be interesting to introduce into the course?
I do. I definitely think it adds something. The comparison of translation is always really interesting, but also that your translation differs in some parts quite drastically. And I think it's a really great experience reading it.
What else do you remember from way back? It's 3.5 years ago, or almost now, yeah. From the course.
I mean, I can remember distinctly we signed up for the final, and we were doing presentations, and it was 3 people in each group. And as it just so happened, because it's the 3 great authors, that each of us in our group had really just... sorry, I hate cameras so much. Had really just gotten into one of the authors, just incredibly, that I went on a whole Kafka binge, and then it was Tam, who I think, and then Joyce and Sarah Thomas had done Beckett, and that the 3 of us were just so excited about separate things, yet they really weren't separate at all. It's a connection that you would never make on your own. No, I took this class when I wasn't an English major, and the next year I was, so there's that.
Yeah, Becky has been pointing out an important thing, and that is that they are 3 great modern authors, and they have a lot in common.
They do. More than one would think, more than I thought, especially as a freshman, 19 years old. What did I know?
Yeah, because they come from very different backgrounds. Beckett and Joyce both being Irish, but in other respects completely dissimilar. Kafka being German, German language writer, Jewish, living in Prague, so multicultural, influenced by many different streams of thought and literature. So what else should we tell them, Becky?
What else should we tell them? Well,
We're at 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
you're going to laugh. You might not think you're going to laugh, and you may think you're reading something incredibly dark, but I promise you, when you come into class, you're going to laugh about it.
And if there's a Beckett performance in a city around here, we can go and watch it. We've done that in
Oh, we did go to something.
Yes.
Yes.
Did we go in Philadelphia?
We did go to
yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
Field trips.
I think one of the revelations for students is waiting for Godot, because on the page it looks completely strange, but once you see it being acted out, it comes alive in ways you couldn't possibly imagine when you're reading. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. Reading it and watching it are completely different experiences. I always loved when we watched things in class. It brought a whole new dimension to whatever we were working on.
Yeah, and you were just mentioning that Japanese version
I
of
love
Kafka's,
that. I'm so glad you included it in your class this semester. I was like, yes, I want to watch it again.
That's a version of a Kafka story called A Country Doctor, but it's a very Japanese take on it, and yet at the same time brings out qualities that you might not have noticed in the story the first time you read it. Should we do a little more?
We're almost at 5 minutes, so if you have any wrapping up comments.
What should we say about? Yeah, in terms of the requirements, there are 2 papers. One is a shorter one, kind of getting to know each other, which is, I think, believe 20% of the grade. I don't just believe it; it is 20%. And then the longer research paper is 40%. And but I offer an alternative. There is to do a somewhat creative paper, which I can tell you more about when you sign up for the course.
All right. And